What's up, everyone? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center back at you guys with another client transformation video. And today I have on here one of my really good clients, Big John. What's up, John? Welcome on to the show. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Good, man. You're nice and fancy in your suit. I'm used to seeing you in your gym wear. You got your nice jacket on. This guy's
Still
good
at
to
work.
go.
Still at work.
All right, so guys, John has made significant amount of progress with us. John has a very unique story, but just a quick overview. He's down 17 pounds, gained about 10 pounds of muscle, so his body composition really changed. And that's really like the huge win because this guy looks totally different than when he first came in. But aside from that, like I said, John's got a unique story, which is just an added bonus to why I even asked him to come on here. John is also an assistant principal. And we have a lot of teachers, a lot of high-level executives that come to us that find it very difficult when they work these kind of jobs to get this kind of work in. And John is, I can literally tell John, spinach every day at 12 o'clock. I want it. 12 o'clock on the dot. I know he's eating his spinach. That's the type of person John is. So John, welcome on, man. I appreciate you coming on here today to share your story. And I know we're going to influence a lot of people with this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
So John, let's kind of start at the beginning. So, you know, you're at that time 195 and just not feeling good. And what happened? What prompted you to reach out to AB Fitness Center?
Well, as in our first Zoom meeting, as I shared with you, I come with a history of several surgeries that I had that incapacitated me for a while. And due to that, I gained a lot of weight, you know, and I was not able to not only work out or do any type of exercise. I was also, you know, going through that depression that you feel when you can't do much and you're debilitated. And, you know, in my you know, Italian background, you go to comfort food, you know, and before you know it, the weight just kept on going on and didn't feel right. Thankfully, after multiple surgeries, I have a implant in me. That's a back stimulator. That's for a lower back damage that I've also had several spinal fusions, one that is an upper fusion that they went through the neck, another one through the back of the neck. So I've had about 4 or 5 back spine related surgeries. And, you know, prior to coming to you, I had lost a significant amount of weight, but I felt stagnant. And I also felt that I wasn't doing much exercise other than just some walking or some light things. And that's what prompted me to give you guys a call and say, you know, I need some proper guidance. I also need, and as you remember, when we spoke, I was only looking to maybe lose another 10 pounds, not more than what I already lost. It was more to tone up and gain that strength in my core. And thanks to you guys, that's where I feel I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, guys, I don't know if you were just listening to what he said, but basically almost every disc in his back had an issue with. And when he says, you know, unable to like move was beyond, I'll never forget getting the phone call from John. And he's like, I want to do this for 1 month. And I get that all the time with people on the phone. Like people always ask me, Anthony, do you turn people away? Because you have to apply to become a member to our gym and then be a part of us. And I tell people all the time, yes, I do. I really do turn people away because when someone tells me, hey, I want to do this for 1 month because I want to get in shape for the beach, it's like, listen, it doesn't work like that. You know, just go follow like, you know, keto and you know, good luck. But when John said that to me, and then it kind of explained to me his situation, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is probably in agonizing pain all day. Like I know some of you listening to this probably have a herniated disc here, a bulge disc there, and that's enough. This guy's got his whole spine almost. And you know, I'm proud of you every day that you come into the gym because you make it work. And we talked about this so many times on the phone, how we're going to work around this and strengthen up everything. But you had lost a significant amount of muscle, you know, starting from this, just from that.
Yes, that's correct.
How did you feel with that? Like, how did that like affect your normal life? How did you feel as a dad and as just an like, how do you feel at that point?
Well, at an early age, I was always an athlete. You know, I grew up in Italy playing soccer. I signed my first contract when I was 13. I played semi-pro soccer. I was, you know, that was my life. And I was always athletic up until my 20s, 30s. I played with kids that I coached. So, you know, I always felt like I was younger in my mind and my physical ability. And then once these debilitating issues started happening, I needed to fuse, like you said, most of my spine and my thoracic part of my back, it was debilitating. I felt, then I got married, had kids, and I didn't feel like I was doing much. I felt like I was missing so many activities. My son plays football, soccer, my daughter's in cheer and volleyball. And if I tell you, I probably made one or two of their games, or never made a practice. My wife had to do all of that just because I couldn't wait to just, lay down and try and anticipate some of that pain out. And I just felt like I wasn't living my best life, that I wasn't really putting the effort into being a good dad, a good husband, not being able to do things with the family. There were times that my daughter had a cheer competition and my wife had to take both kids to the competition alone. And this is out of state stuff. And I'm just kind of staying home on a couch trying to rehabilitate after trying to work a week. It also impacted my financial status because I started missing a lot of days at work, and then you don't get paid once you run out of days. And, it definitely has an impact on you being, I'm sure you could relate, an alpha male, and then, hey, you are debilitated and you feel like you're really not contributing to the family the way you should. And not only financially, but emotionally, short fuse. When you're in pain, you really don't want to deal with much. So it was really discouraging.
And fast forward to now, how has things changed since you've been with us, John?
Well, I could say now, 6 months in, I'm after this, I'm going to go to the gym. After the gym, my son has practice, taking him, and then we're going to grab a bite to eat. I'm going to eat my healthy stuff. He's going to eat whatever he wants. He's 11. And, and back tomorrow, he's got a soccer game tomorrow night. I'm taking him. It's just a different way of living. And it's reinvigorated my, my attitude. And, the pain sometimes is still there. And I always say, there's a difference between, pain and being injured or hurt. I'm in pain all day, every day, just different levels that I could deal with. When I'm at the gym, I push myself, and sometimes, I adjust, and you guys understand that if I can do a certain exercise over that weight, it's because there's a reason. I'm not bailing out, but I'll compensate by doing either a higher rep or maybe a different exercise to make up for that. And I feel I don't know. I feel I'm going away on vacation coming up in July, and that's the first time I'm actually looking forward to go to vacation, take my shirt off, and get a nice tan and really enjoy myself. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome, man. I love to hear that. That's really, really important. So, John, what did you try before you started with us at AB Fitness Center? So I know that you were looking for this. And I guess prior to the injuries, like you said, you're an old alpha male. You probably did everything. But what have you done like after the surgeries and stuff to try and that didn't work?
Well, that yo-yo dieting, or, you might cheat days, well, you're good all week and then you cheat on a weekend. My concept of what dieting was prior to having that conversation with you, our first meeting on Zoom, I thought I had the answers, and I was coming in and gonna, explain to you, well, this is how I lost weight, but not realizing that that's not sustainable. I could lose weight if I want in a short period of time, but it's not healthy, it's not sustainable, and it's not gaining muscle. So, I was on the treadmill for 2 hours, I was doing that exercise, and no cardio here. And I'm like, no cardio, how's that possible? Am I going to lose weight? The only way I thought I could lose weight is starving and doing cardio, never really lifting or doing, all the squats we do. I'm like, that wasn't, my legs are big. I don't need to do squats. Just whatever you've been trained, the wrong way of thinking when it comes to exercise and dieting. So I've done everything from, the Optavia diet to, keto to, Mediterranean diet, you name it. And it just wasn't sustainable. Like I said, I could starve myself for a month, and then what? Something happens, an event happens, and then before you know it, you fall into those bad habits. Now when I feel like I want to grab a piece of chocolate, I'll grab something that maybe has a little chocolate in it, but it's healthier. I like the snack bar. So if I'm going to have a Quest bar, if I'm a peanut butter guy, a chocolate guy, grab one that has that in it. It satisfies that need that I have, and I really don't starve myself now. I work around the diet. If I have to, I'll save my calories for the evening. If I know I'm going to go out, I love sushi, so I'm not going to skip out on my sushi meals, but I'll make sure that during the day I leave that room there, and drinking a lot of water. That's been the number one thing. And the one thing that I know has helped me a lot, I used to believe, you bring a big gallon of water, you finish that, you're good. And that doesn't work for me. I'm in an office. I'm not going to sit here with a big gallon, and I'll show you. So, and this is not planned, guys. This is my number 6. I don't know if you could see it, my 6 bottle of water for today, because I want to make sure I drink 7 bottles. So I keep it on my desk.
Key with this. That's the key with John, guys. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, which kind of leads me into my next point. So one of the major things that I tell everyone who comes to us, we have basically, it's going to take the AB fitness method to get someone to the next level. Now, John, just for point of reference, how old are you? I'm going to let you say it. I don't want to say your age.
I turned 50 in February.
Okay, awesome. So now, in order to get into shape and get your body back, you need to have these three basic pillars. And the first pillar of the AB fitness method is your nutrition. 70% of your results are going to come from what you eat. And when you get over a certain age, after the age of 30, you lose 5% of your muscle mass naturally. It's just something that happens. So, John, let's talk about the nutrition. Like you kind of mentioned, you went into this kind of saying, I'm going to tell this guy what I did. Let's talk about how the nutrition was for you prior and kind of what it is now, because you kind of just gave us a little bit of a glimpse on it, but try to explain to the 50-year-old guy or girl listening to this what we're talking about nutrition-wise.
To me, it's about structure. In the past, it was, whenever I got a chance to eat something, or maybe I'd have, a piece of fruit in the morning, wait until lunch, have maybe a veggie, and then have a salad at night, and that was it. And I wasn't getting my caloric intake, and it just wasn't working. Now, and that's why working in a school actually helps me with my diet, because I go by the bells. We have a bell system. And if you're a teacher and listening to this, I mean, this is a lot easier than it is for me as an administrator, sometimes dealing with things. You have a set schedule. So, once that bell rings, things happen. So I know the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, I go downstairs, I get up at 4:30 every morning. By 5 o'clock, I have my protein, either a shake or protein drink. Once that's done, get ready, come to work. And by then I already had a bottle of water besides that. And I'll have, an apple or a banana, depending on what I'm in the mood for. And I plan my meals in advance. Like I plan my meals on Sunday for the week so that I kind of do the prepping for that. So then I'll have, I'll wait about an hour and a half, and then I'll have my yogurt with a little fruit. Then after that, I'll have a lunch. And for lunch, I never thought I could have a sandwich for lunch, but I do low salt, low fat cold cuts, boar's head, like you guys suggest. I put it in, low grain bread, and, I'll have a sandwich every day. And sometimes I'll switch what I put in it just because you don't want to get bored by it, and then I'll have as a snack, 4 ounces of grilled chicken, and then some more fruit, whether it's grapes. And I count the grapes out. That's how intense or sick I am, I guess. But I know that 10 grapes equals this much. So I'll put 10 grapes in my yogurt and take 10 grapes as a snack. Then I'll have a snack bar before I hit the gym. And then at night, it'll be a grilled chicken salad. And then I treat myself. My treat is either peanut butter or Nutella. I can't live without it. So that's my treat at night. I save my fat for that before I go to bed, or even earlier, because sometimes I try not to do that too much right before I go to bed. And I'm not starving myself. Something happens on a weekend, like I said, I plan my diet so that I make sure that by that weekend comes, I have, room within the diet. And I plan my meals on Sunday. I cut my chicken on Sunday, put it in baggies, I weigh it, and I know I have it ready for the week. And each bag has a M for Monday, T for Tuesday, and I go through that all week, and it's in my fridge now. All I have to do is grab the bag. Everything is in there. There's no thinking involved. I do the thinking. It only takes me about 40 minutes on a Sunday. Get it prepped, do it, and all I have to do is bring the bags to work, and they're in the fridge and done,
That's awesome. And I think what the major thing is, what he's saying, if you guys are actually listening, is that we gave him that structure. We gave him that structure of understanding how nutrition works. Like, John, thinking back now versus 6 months ago, do you feel like you look at nutrition differently? Like, you're not following a diet, but you explain that kind of portion of it.
Yeah, it's funny because people ask me, oh, you look great. Oh, you lost weight. Are you on a diet? And I say, I'm eating better and properly. And they don't understand what that means. Then we start talking about macros. You got to educate people like you educated me. And then you have to explain the difference between what proteins are and carbs. And even at home, even with the kids or my wife, would be like, well, that's what I could have 2-3 bananas. I'm like, but that's high in carbs. It's not that much protein. So just the concept of understanding what food really is. Of course, to me, I could eat food all day and I could eat veggies all day and you don't gain weight, but that's not a proper balance. So to me, having that proper balance in a diet and understanding the concept of, if I pick something up, what am I reading on that level? I'm not just looking at, it's this many calories. Because to be honest, I don't really look at calories that much, because I know once I hit my macros, I'm getting the right calories in.
Exactly. And John, one of the things too, it's like, you said it already, I'm not on a diet. Do you think now, based on this conversation, right? If we were to re-interview you 4 years from now, do you think that you would be in a different place? I mean, you're going to be in a different place because you've improved at this point, but you know what I mean? Like, can you ever see yourself reverting back now that you know what you know about nutrition?
Knowing how my brain works and how structured I am, I don't see that happen. I just pray it doesn't happen because that was so unhealthy. And I'm not hungry now. I mean, I'm just eating differently. There's sometimes, yeah, I crave a little something, you know. So if I know I want a coffee that has maybe something in it, like a little caramel, then I got to make sure that I keep that. I'm not going to deprive myself. If I know that the family is going to get together for pizza, I'll have a slice, but I make sure that throughout the day, I look at it differently. When in the past, it would have been, like I said, a cheat day. But a cheat day, I
Yeah.
was taking in, 3,000 calories in a day, all carbs, all fat, no protein. So it wasn't healthy. So just the fact that looking at it, and I hope to stick with this because it is life-changing and it's given me that energy back that I crave. I don't see myself ever looking. I just can't. I can't. Even now, I have my kids looking at labels and things. So it's important. As 11-year-old athletes, both of them, I think it's important that they understand they need to stay hydrated. You need to watch. We don't have soda in the house. That wasn't one thing that I was brought up with either. But all their friends drink soda, and that's something that we try to avoid. But I'm not depriving them. You could have your lemonade, but we'll do Crystal Light. So it's looking at things in a different frame of mind.
Exactly, and that's the key. And I know you're never going to go back to where you were because now you just understand it more. You understand, and I tell this to people all the time. I'm not going to teach you rocket science. I'm just going to teach you nutrition 101 and how to apply it. So now when you look at food, it's very different than, oh, this is just healthy. No, you're looking at it like, okay, this has X amount of protein in it, X amount of carbs, X amount of fat. If I want the pizza, I just have to budget it in. And that's where you do a phenomenal job because you are a creature of habit and you just kind of check that box every day. Like everything that I talk about in all these videos, you embody that. And that's why you've had so much success. Guys, he's gained over 10 pounds of muscle in less than 6 months. And that's not easy for a guy to do at 50 with all the issues he has. Like that, you guys don't understand. You guys are kind of like, I think some people maybe even like flying over that. This guy had serious surgery that anybody listening to this would not be able to handle. And he was able to accomplish it. That's why I'm very, very proud of him. And I'm blessed. We are blessed at AB Fitness Center that you are here and on this today because I know this is going to help a lot of people. So John, with your current, where you are currently at in your journey, right? What would you say your strongest skill set is to help somebody listening to this? Like, what would you say your strongest skill set is right now?
I think it's the ability to explain the process of what it takes, and the first thing is patience, which, I remember 2 weeks in, we had a conversation. You're like, John, it's only been 2 weeks, So explaining the process, also understanding that, erase everything that you've learned prior to this, because maybe some of it might make sense, but unless you have it in the right structure, it really is going to hurt you, not help you. So I think just the knowledge, the ability to, take somebody through it and say, have patience and follow it. Because at first, I didn't see the results I was looking for at first. But then again, it wasn't, my eyes were looking through a different set of eyes. And then once people started noticing things and saying things, and then I started, your eyes could play a trick. Your mind plays tricks on you. So I was able to look at myself differently. And now when I go shopping and I'm down so many sizes, I go for a different suit. I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for. And now I can't wait for the next 6 months and beyond to see where it could take me. So just that experience, the structure, the knowledge, and the patience. That's what I think I could bring.
And what would you say, you had to really work, those are two great things, but what would you say you kind of struggle with, like your weakest skill sets that you had to fix in order to achieve what you've achieved?
I think, believe it or not, it might sound silly, but like just drinking water, like just having that intake of water is something that I always drank, but it wasn't, I'm structured now. If I don't have at least 7 bottles of water, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And now my body's craving it and it's coming in and coming out easy. It's working just fine. And I think that the adjustment of making sure that I could eliminate the excuse of, well, I have 3 kids in my office, 2 people waiting. You know what? It takes 1 minute to just have a quick something that I know is part of my daily diet, not a quick piece of candy, So I think that the intake of the water and the mindset that I need to make time for me because I'm making time for everybody else in my life and I'm the one suffering. And that's not good.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That happens as we get older. As you get older, you start getting more and more responsibilities. Your time becomes less of your own. And I think that that's key. I try to explain that to everybody. You know, in order for you to take care of everybody else, you have to take care of yourself. And you said it, you know, first and foremost, it's like it makes a difference whether you're grabbing the candy or you're grabbing a snack that you could fit in, because the way this whole thing works, it's a process and everything compounds on what you're currently doing. So it's like, you know, John lays down the foundation every day and then he just executes on that foundation. And over time, those layers compound on each other and you get those quick results like that. But it's just a matter of kind of pushing that boulder uphill, getting it moving. It's always harder to start an object in motion. And once it's in motion, it's easier to maintain. And John has these tricks that he does, you know, that keep him moving. So John, what helps you keep a positive and actionable mindset? I mean, like I said, you've been through it all, man. I mean, you really have been through it all. And you're one of the most positive guys that comes in the gym. I never heard a complaint out of this guy's mouth about anything. He comes in, he does the work, he's positive, he's ready to go, and just he's a mover and a shaker. I mean, that's why he's an assistant principal. But what just, if for someone listening to this who just can't find themselves in that groove, you know, what keeps you in that positive and actionable mindset?
I think my motivation is, you know, first and foremost, like you said, is I have to be a little selfish. And by that, I mean taking care of myself. And within that, also understand that I have a family and I want to be around, and I want to be around to enjoy, you know, my kids getting married, them having kids, you know, that's part of my motivation every day. So it's number one for me, for my health, to be able to do things that I haven't been able to do in years, you know, even if it's just to go for a swim. I mean, I can pick up a pen without being off the floor, without being in extreme pain. So the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing in the gym, you know, it surprises me, it shocks me, but it's not, you know, and once again, it's in moderation. So just that motivation of I'm seeing the results. I know it's working. I know it's affecting my life. I know it's affecting my family's life in a positive way. And, you know, I think that's enough for me to get me up and motivated and going. And, you know, sometimes things get in the way, but I have to say, this is my time. That's why we even had to change the time of this Zoom meeting today, because, hey, I got this, I got to go to the gym. I didn't want to cut into that time.
Right, right. And like I said, John, I'm just so proud of you, you know? So what would be your biggest tip for, because we have a lot of teachers and principals that come to us. So what would be your biggest tip for a teacher or principal listening to this with the schedule that you guys have? I mean, you know teachers better than me. You're in that environment. So if someone wants to succeed with this, you know, what's the biggest tip?
I think, you know, in my field, and I think you could build that in any field, you know, in education, we have bells. We work on a bell system. That is a monochronic system. If you plan your diet around those bells, and it doesn't have to be like I did, it doesn't have to, but it has to be your time. You know, my body tells me now, it's almost like Pavlov's dog. When that second period bell goes off, I know it's time for my yogurt and grapes, and nobody get in my way because I'm going to have it. And, you know, it takes only 2 minutes to eat. But then when I'm done with that, you know, I know, you know, when it's lunchtime for the kids, it's lunchtime for me. And I don't remember the last time, you know, prior to these last 6 months that I actually sat down and ate lunch at work. It was always a grab and go, and, you know, food from the cafeteria, nothing healthy, but just that system of, okay, that bell goes off, I have to have something. And if you're not in a bell system, you know, your body, if you do that, for me, it took a couple of weeks, but if you do that, your body's going to tell you it's time. There's an internal clock within me that says, right now, as I'm talking, I know I need to drink more water. I feel it, you know, and I know that, you know, at 4 o'clock comes, I need to have my grapes. That's how I'm structured. I know that's what's coming. So I knew I looked at the clock, but I knew it was close to 4 because that's my body telling me. So I think just follow your body, that instinct, and create a routine. And once you hit that routine, your body will tell you. And I think, especially for teachers, you know what your schedule is going to be starting in September, because you all got in your mailbox, you're all complaining about it. I know, I hear about it. Now is the time to look at it and start saying, okay, I see what he's saying. And maybe it's every hour and a half that you have something, just plan accordingly.
Awesome. Great tips, man. And I know one of the things that you were touched upon earlier, and I want to circle back to it, you know, you mentioned, you know, it takes you a couple minutes every week to meal prep and things like that. You know, somebody listening to this probably like, oh, well, this guy has time after work, he can do this. I mean, this guy comes to the gym for a half hour, a couple of days a week. So John, how many hours total in a week do you invest in your health and fitness? What would you say realistically?
Realistically, as
I know it's
far
a
as
kind of a tough
including,
question to answer, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
between
including meal
prepping,
prepping, exercising,
yeah,
walking, that kind of
yeah.
stuff, probably I'd have to say one, two. If we're saying 4 hours a week is a lot. I mean, honestly, and I'm not lying, because I'm thinking I go to the gym twice, that's a half hour each. I walk around the building throughout the day. I know if I walk around the building 3 times, I'm getting 5,000 steps. It's 3 floors. I measured it once. I know. And I don't believe, for me, I don't believe in those watches, whatever. I took my phone with me once. I walked around. I saw how many steps it was. Now I know what I need to do. So that's the routine. And put it all together, definitely not more than 4 hours. No.
So guys, there, just for context, there's 168 hours in a week. So you think you can invest 4 hours, and like I said, he does everything. This is start to finish. 4 hours a week. Make time for yourself to invest in getting your body back. At 50, younger, older, whatever, it doesn't matter. 4 hours. If you think about that, that's nothing in a week. I don't know. I'm horrible at math to do the percentage of what that is, but it's minuscule. It's minuscule. But John, what would you say that 4 hour gives you as a return?
And I can't measure it. There's nothing I can't put a number on it. And, and I wish, and once the summer comes, my hours change a little bit. Those 4 hours are going to increase because I know that I have more time. But if I could do it through a full school year, within that 4 hour range and feel and look and be where I'm at now, I could only imagine how it's going to be once I have a little more time and then hopefully invest more time as the year goes by so that I could maybe do 5 hours instead of 4. You always tell me, get some more walking and exercise on those days that you're not going to the gym. And I take that, a lot of people drop their kids off at their sports and then they go somewhere else and grab a bite to eat. I'm walking around the track. I watch him and walk around the track. So that to me, and that's included in that 4 hours that I mentioned, that to me is important. And what it gives back to me, it's unmeasurable.
John, I could jump across the screen and kiss you, man. You literally embody everything that I said. And honestly, like I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, man. I mean, like people like you are the reason why we do what we do. Like I got goosebumps right now saying that to you because it's true. I chose to do this at a young age. I was thinking about becoming a physical therapist and a doctor. And I decided not to because I really don't like seeing people in pain. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to help people better themselves. And like to hear the way that you're talking, it just makes me so proud because I'm like, John is the reason why we really do what we do. Like he's gotten back so much out of this because he invests so much into it. I mean, I know it's only 4 hours, but it's like, that's a lot of like time to take out to invest in your health. And, it's time well worth it. I'm so proud of you, man. So John, what would you say to anyone who's watching this right now, who is currently skeptical about personal training or just like, I don't know what to do. This is kind of expensive. Should I do it? What would be your piece of advice for them?
I would say, first of all, and I want to share with you guys, we didn't prep this conversation. I don't know what questions were going to be asked. So don't think that this is a planned thing because I would not sign up for that because I'm not, I'm not into that. And I even told Anthony from the beginning, no pictures, none of that, that's not me. So I'm not signing up onto something without, knowing the answers prior to that. What I think, and I forgot the question. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Well, guys, I got to be honest. I got him to take one picture after this. So he's going to give me a flex in the gym for the cover of this photo. So I'll say that first.
That's why I lost the question because I was thinking about doing that later, but go on.
So the question was, what would you say to anyone who's watching this video, who's currently skeptical or just undecided about signing up for personal training with us?
I know if you're looking at price, which obviously when you have a family, in my case, I looked at that too, and then I said, if I cannot invest that money into me, I've already gained that money back by not taking days off of work. And that's just, it's paid for itself by not missing days from work because I don't get paid on those days. If I use all my days, and through my surgeries, unfortunately, I only get my allowance for the year. And those days are only 13 days a year. And when you have my health issues, 13 days a year don't go too far. So I think just the fact that say, okay, if I invest in it, and at first I was skeptical because it is a little pricey, but it's not when you break it down and you see the results. And, instead of going out to dinner, you're eating better. So I'm saving money in other areas. I'm saving money and, not have to buy 7 suits because I go up and down in weight. So I have to have different size suits. I mean, you look at the big picture, the one thing I could say, it works, it helps. motivate yourself. Think of your why. What is your why? Why should I do it? Why? And for different people, it'll be different things. Might be your personal health, might be an inspiration to a child. It might be anything. Just doing the right thing for yourself and for your family. Figure out what your why is, and then say, is it worth it? And then you have to make that decision. Nobody was going to convince me, no matter what happened in that first meeting with Anthony. Nobody was going to convince me whether, I was going to do it or not, or whether it was going to work. And I told my wife as soon as I got off, I said, I have a good feeling about this. And she said, you never said that about anything else. You just said, I'll deal with it. This is the first time I said I have a good feeling. So it does, that's where I think the difference is with this system.
John, you're the best, buddy. I really appreciate it. Like I said to you, even before this phone call, you're going to inspire a lot of people, because this story really, I know, like I told you guys, John went through a lot in his life, a lot. And to see him on this side of it, I don't want to say pain-free, but, a lot better, in a better spot than he ever was. And just hearing him talk, John, you're going to be a huge inspiration for most people. So I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And thank you in advance for, again, relifting our spirits at AB Fitness Center, because it's draining to deal with people all day who, they think it's going to happen overnight and they don't want to put in the work for it. But to hear your story, again, it just invigorates the staff and everyone at AB Fitness Center. So thank you so much for this. And if you're listening and you're ready to invest in yourself, just click that link below. And John, any final words before we depart?
All I could say is thank you. You keep on thanking me. I haven't gotten a chance to thank you guys. Every single person I've worked with, whether it was you, whether it was Laura, whether it's Tom, was anybody, just the patience, just the drilling that you guys do. It's an art and a science. I see people teaching. You're in the teaching business, just in a different location, not in a school. So thank you for all you do.
You're welcome, buddy. And it was great talking to you. Thank you again.
Take care.